Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mr. Jobs English podcast. We're so happy you're here with us again. I'm Mia.
And I'm James, ready for another day of job-based English. If you're new to the podcast, this is where we explore real professions and real vocabulary through natural conversations.
Exactly. And today's profession, it's a classic, universal job that exists everywhere you go. The waiter. I love this topic because waiting tables is all about people, communication, and small, useful phrases that English learners can use immediately.
Oh, totally. And it's one of those jobs where English vocabulary really shows up in real life. Menus, orders, customers, mistakes, and sometimes chaos.
Yes, and we'll bring all of that today. Vocabulary, expressions, a mini story, and natural examples. Everything inside our conversation, as always. So, let's start from the very beginning. What a waiter actually does.
A waiter is the person who serves food and drinks in a restaurant. They take the customer's order, bring the meals, answer questions about the menu, check on the tables, give the bill, and make sure guests are happy.
And one of the most important things for a waiter is speaking clearly and politely, because a waiter represents the whole restaurant. Their voice, their smile, their tone, everything creates the atmosphere.
And there's a lot of vocabulary that appears again and again. For example, menu, which is the list of dishes, or order, which is what the customer asks for, or table for two, when a customer arrives and says how many people are coming.
Exactly. And another very common one is customer, the person who goes to eat at the restaurant. Easy word, but it appears all the time.
Absolutely. And server is also used. In the U.S., many people say server instead of waiter because it's more neutral.
Yes, in Canada too, server is very common. But today, to keep things simple, we'll use waiter.
Good plan. So let's imagine the typical moment when customers arrive. The waiter usually says, "Hello, welcome. How many people?" Or, "Table for how many?"
Exactly. And one useful expression is right this way, which means follow me. A waiter uses it when guiding customers to the table.
Then comes the drink question. Can I get you something to drink? Or, more casually, would you like something to drink?
And the vocabulary here is very practical. Sparkling water, still water, soda, juice, beer, and of course, coffee or tea.
And after drinks, the customers look at the menu. This is when waiters answer lots of questions, like, "What's in this dish?" Or, "Is this spicy?" Or, "Do you have any vegetarian options?"
And one very important verb for waiters is to recommend. When a customer asks, "What do you recommend?" the waiter needs to suggest something from the menu. The word recommend is used every day.
Another key expression, "Are you ready to order?" This is a classic waiter line.
Yes, and after the order, the waiter repeats everything to confirm. This is essential because mistakes happen when things aren't confirmed.
Speaking of mistakes, another important expression is, "I'm sorry about that," used when something goes wrong, maybe the wrong dish or a delay or something missing.
So true. In Canadian restaurants, being polite and calm even in busy moments is super important. People appreciate good service.
In the U.S. too. And tipping, giving a tip, is a big part of the culture for waiters.
Yes, waiters usually live off tips, so good service really matters.
And now that we've introduced the basics, I think we should bring in our mini story. Something real, something that happens in almost every restaurant.
I have a perfect one. It happened to me when I was younger. I'm in a small restaurant in Toronto with 3 friends. The place is full, completely full. The waiter is walking fast, carrying plates, smiling, trying to keep everything under control. We sit at our table, and he comes to us immediately, very professional, very calm. He asks, "Can I get you something to drink?" My friends order 2 sodas, and I order water. But when he comes back, he brings 2 waters and 1 soda. The opposite of what we said.
Classic waiter moment.
Yes. And he looks at the drinks, looks at us, and says, "Oh, I think I mixed this up. I'm sorry about that." And he corrected everything super fast. Very polite, very calm.
That's a great example because mix it up is a phrasal verb waiters use a lot. It means to confuse items or give the wrong thing. And the waiter handled it perfectly.
Yes, and what I loved is that he didn't panic. He just solved it.
Calm under pressure, essential for waiters.
Exactly. Another moment that shows common vocabulary is when the food arrives. Waiters often say, "Here you go," or "Here is your meal." And when they bring something extra, like salt, they say, "Here you are." These little expressions create a friendly atmosphere.
True. And when customers finish eating, the waiter usually asks, "Can I get you anything else?" Or, "How was everything?"
And after everything is done, they say, "Here is your bill," or "The check is right here." Canadians often say bill, right?
Yes, in the US we also say bill, but check is extremely common too. Like, "Can we have the check, please?"
Another important word is tip, the extra money customers leave for good service. In Canada, it's usually around 15 to 20%, sometimes more for excellent service.
Same in the US, and this is one reason waiters need good communication skills. The better the service, the better the tip.
Yes, and speaking of communication, let's look at verbs that waiters use constantly. For example, to serve, to recommend, to bring, to describe, to refill, meaning to add more drink.
Yes, refill is essential, especially in American restaurants where free refills are super common. The waiter comes by and asks, "Would you like a refill?"
In Canada, some places offer free refills too, but not everywhere. But the verb is still important.
And another very practical one is to check on the table, which means to see if customers need anything.
Waiters often say, "How is everything here?" or "Is everything okay with your meal?"
And sometimes waiters have to deal with complaints. Very normal in busy restaurants. The vocabulary here includes cold, undercooked, overcooked, or missing, like missing a fork or missing a drink.
And the best thing a waiter can say is, "I'll fix that right away." This sentence shows responsibility and speed.
Totally. It makes the customer feel taken care of.
Another useful expression is daily special. It means the special dish of the day, usually something not on the regular menu.
Yes, in many restaurants in the US, waiters start by saying, "Our special today is," and then describe the dish.
All these phrases help English learners speak naturally in real restaurant situations.
And honestly, even people who aren't waiters can use this vocabulary as customers, so it's double useful.
Absolutely. So let's continue exploring more vocabulary through another natural situation, ordering complicated dishes. Imagine a customer says, "Can I have the burger with no onions, extra cheese, and gluten-free bread?" A waiter must listen carefully, repeat the order, and confirm.
They might say, "So that's a burger with no onions, extra cheese, and gluten-free bread. Is that correct?" Confirmation prevents mistakes.
Yes, and sometimes customers ask, "Can I substitute fries for salad?" The word substitute means to replace one item with another.
Or they ask, "Can I make a change to this dish?" Very common.
And waiters must answer politely, "Sure, no problem," or "I can check with the kitchen," which is another important sentence.
Yes, the kitchen refers to the staff cooking the food. Waiters communicate between the customers and the kitchen.
Now, imagine a situation when things get really busy. Lunch rush, dinner rush, the restaurant is full, orders are coming fast, the kitchen is loud. A waiter must stay organized.
And they use time-saving words like "coming right up," which means the food or drink will be ready soon.
They also say, "I'll be right back," very common when they need to get something quickly.
I love that these phrases are simple, but super effective.
Yes, and another interesting part of the job is dealing with reservations. Customers reserve a table in advance. The waiter must check the list and say, "Do you have a reservation?" or "What name is the reservation under?"
True. All basic, but essential.
And I want to mention something important for English learners. Tone. A waiter's tone must be friendly, calm, and polite even when the restaurant is noisy or busy.
Yes,
Good tone makes the customer feel comfortable and respected.
And many waiters around the world learn English because restaurants receive international tourists.
Definitely. And knowing basic restaurant vocabulary opens job opportunities too.
So today's profession is not just about serving food, it's about communication, responsibility, teamwork, and learning everyday English.
And we still have a lot more coming. Expressions, verbs, situations, more natural dialogue, and more useful examples.
Yes, everything to help listeners understand how waiters talk and what they say during a typical workday.
And of course, we'll keep things natural and fun the way we always do.
So let's keep going because there's still so much to explore about being a waiter. I think people sometimes imagine it's simple, but when you really look at the vocabulary, the daily tasks, the rhythm of a restaurant, it becomes surprisingly interesting.
Definitely. It's a job where English really matters because you talk with people all day. Customers, coworkers, chefs, and the vocabulary is super specific. For example, not everyone knows words like tray, bill, refill, orders, table section, shift, busy rush, or garnish. All of these come up constantly.
Exactly. And what I like is that these words appear naturally in real conversations. Like when a customer says, "Could I get a refill, please?" That's a super common line. A refill is just when someone wants more of a drink they already have. If they have water, they want more water. If they have soda, they want more soda.
And waiters usually answer something like, "Of course, I'll bring it right away," or "Sure, I can top it off." Top it off is a nice expression. It means you're adding more liquid, but not starting from zero. It makes you sound very natural.
Another essential word is bill or check. Canadians usually say bill more often. Americans say both, but check is extremely common in the US.
Oh, yeah. In the US, you hear, "Can I get the check?" all the time. It's almost automatic. But the idea is the same, the paper that shows how much the customer has to pay.
And then there's tip. Very important. A tip is the extra money customers give to the waiter for good service. And the rules are different from country to country, but in Canada and the US, tipping is really part of the culture. Most people leave around 15 to 20% of the total.
And that's important vocabulary because a waiter often says things like, "Tip is not included," or "The tip is already included," depending on the restaurant. Or a manager might say, "Make sure you check the tip before closing the bill."
And speaking of managers, waiters use a lot of verbs too, like to serve, to carry, to wipe, to clear, to recommend, to explain, to deliver, to check on, to take orders, to greet customers. All of these verbs show real actions in the restaurant.
To clear the table is a good one. It means removing the dishes and cleaning the table after customers finish eating. And to wipe is to clean with a towel. A lot of new waiters mix these up, but they're very different.
I remember someone once thought clear the table meant make it clean, like washing, but really it's specifically about removing plates and things. Cleaning comes after.
And to check on a table is when the waiter goes back to see if everything is okay. A classic line is, "How's everything with your meal?" Or, "Is everything tasting good?"
Yes, that line is used constantly. And another is, "Are you ready to order?" That moment when the waiter stops by, usually with a small notebook or sometimes a digital tablet.
That's true. Some restaurants still use the traditional notebook. Others use tablets. Vocabulary like tablet, menu, specials, appetizer, main course, side dish, dessert, drink menu. All part of the daily routine.
Specials is fun because it means the dishes that are only available on that day. And sometimes waiters present them verbally, like today's specials are grilled salmon with lemon butter and roasted vegetables. It's like a mini performance because you need to sound confident and friendly.
And sometimes hungry because saying food descriptions out loud can be torture.
Absolutely. And describing food requires adjectives too, like crispy, juicy, tender, spicy, sweet, fresh, grilled, creamy. Waiters use these a lot.
Now, I think we should go deeper into the real environment of a restaurant because listeners need to imagine the space the waiter works in. Words like kitchen, dining area, counter, host stand, back room, storage, dish pit. Not everyone knows these.
Dish pit is so real. It's the area where dirty plates and utensils go. Loud, wet, chaotic, but essential. And host stand is where customers are welcomed when they arrive. The host or hostess usually asks, "How many people?" and then takes them to their table.
Right, and waiters often communicate with the host. For example, my section is full, or I can take table 7, because waiters usually have their own section, meaning a group of tables they're responsible for.
That's such an important word, section. In a big restaurant, each waiter handles their section, and during busy times, called the rush, everything becomes wild.
Oh yes, the dinner rush, the lunch rush, or even the weekend rush. Rush means a lot of customers at the same time. And during the rush, expressions like, "I'm in the weeds," appear. It's slang. Being in the weeds means you're overwhelmed, super busy, almost drowning in tasks.
And every waiter knows that feeling, chuckles. But teamwork helps a lot. For example, "I'll run you drinks," or "I'll help you clear table 12. These sentences are normal among coworkers.
Speaking of teamwork, we promised earlier a little mini story, and I think now is the perfect time to use one naturally with all the vocabulary we just mentioned.
Yes, something short and fun. Let's do it. So imagine this. We're both working at a busy restaurant, and suddenly the dinner rush begins. All tables are full, customers everywhere. The host tells us, "I'm seating a party of 6 at table 9.
I look at you and say, "That's my section, right?"
And you answer, "Yep, have fun." Then I take the appetizer order from another table. They want soup, salad, and garlic bread. Meanwhile, you greet the party of 6.
I say something like, "Good evening. Are you ready to order, or do you need more time?" And of course, they always need more time.
Always. Then suddenly a customer from another table asks for a refill. Another one wants to split the bill. Another one wants to know the specials again. And then someone drops a fork on the floor and we hear the classic metal sound.
And I whisper to you, "I'm in the weeds."
And you say, "Me too. Let's survive this rush."
So we help each other. You carry drinks on a tray for me. I clear your tables. You check on my customers. I bring the dessert menu for yours. Teamwork saves the night.
And around the end, the kitchen yells, "Order up!" which means the food is ready, and we deliver everything like champions.
And at the end of all that chaos, we finally breathe. And one customer says, "Thank you for the wonderful service." And that makes everything worth it.
And that's the mini story. Short, realistic, packed with vocabulary, and very true to real restaurant life.
Yeah, and I love how many natural expressions appear in just one moment. Order up, refill, split the bill, specials, section, rush, in the weeds, clear the table, greet customers, deliver food, carry a tray. All of them very authentic.
And now that we explored the environment and daily actions, I think the next part of our conversation will naturally bring even more advanced phrases.
Yes, we're building beautifully on top of everything. Listeners will feel more confident each minute. All right, moving forward, I think we should talk about something crucial that every waiter deals with daily: communication with customers who speak different levels of English. It's a huge part of the job, because restaurants receive people from all over the world, and a good waiter needs to be patient, clear, and adaptable.
Absolutely. Sometimes the customers speak English fluently, sometimes they speak just a little, and sometimes they speak none at all. And that's when simple, clear vocabulary becomes essential. For example, instead of saying, "Would you care for a beverage this evening?" a waiter might prefer to say, "Would you like a drink?" Much easier, right?
Very. Short sentences help a lot. Water? Still or sparkling? More bread? Ready to order? Need more time? They're simple but polite and effective.
And one of the best strategies is using gestures with objects. But of course, since this is a podcast and people can't see us, we won't act this out. But in a restaurant, the waiter might point to the menu or the drink list to help the customer understand.
And tone is everything. Even with simple English, the waiter needs to sound friendly, not robotic. Something like, "No problem, take your time," or "I can explain the dishes if you want," can make a huge difference.
And pronunciation matters too. Words like salmon, which is pronounced salmon, not salmon, or buffet, which people pronounce differently in different regions. In Canada, we say buffet. In the US, we usually say buffet.
Yeah, pronunciation can be tricky, and if a waiter speaks too fast, customers get lost. So slowing down a little is part of the job. Not exaggerated, just natural.
Now, another big part of working as a waiter is multitasking. That's one of the hardest skills. You're taking orders, carrying plates, explaining the menu, talking to the kitchen, checking on tables, watching the entrance, remembering allergies.
Allergies are huge. A waiter must know how to say things like, "This dish has nuts," "This sauce contains dairy," "There is gluten in this item," or "This is cooked with shellfish," because allergies are serious.
Exactly. And sometimes customers say, "I have a nut allergy," or "I can't eat dairy," and the waiter has to be careful. A safe answer is, "Let me check with the kitchen to make sure."
And something waiters hear all the time. "Can we substitute the fries for a salad?" Substitution is a big word for beginners, but it just means replacing one item with another. Waiters hear it every day.
And drinks too. For example, "Can I get it without ice?" Or "Can I have extra ice?" Or "Can I have my coffee with almond milk?" So many variations.
You know what else? Customers love recommendations. Waiters often say things like, "If you like spicy food, I recommend the chicken curry." Or, "If you prefer something light, the grilled fish is perfect." It's actually a moment where the waiter can shine a little.
Yes, because a good recommendation makes the experience better for everyone, and it creates more interaction, which is fun. And if the customer loves the dish, they usually leave a better tip.
Very true. Now, talking about fun, I think we should bring another small mini moment, something natural, something that really happens in restaurants. Nothing long, just another situation that uses vocabulary in context.
Sure, I have one. Let's imagine this situation. We're working at a restaurant again, and a customer comes in alone. He looks a bit confused with the menu.
And I see him looking around, so I walk over and say, "Hi there, do you have any questions about the menu?" And he says, "Yes, what is the difference between the soup of the day and the regular soup?"
And I quietly whisper to you, "Do we even have a regular soup today?"
Classic. So I tell the customer, the soup of the day is tomato basil, and the regular soup is chicken noodle. And then he asks, "Which one do you recommend?"
And you say, "If you want something light, go with the chicken noodle. If you want something more creamy, try the tomato basil." And then he smiles and says, "Okay, tomato basil sounds great."
And then he asks the classic follow-up, "Does it come with bread?" Every customer asks that. Every single one.
They really do. And you say, "Yes, it comes with a slice of garlic bread." And right after that, a couple at another table calls you, "Excuse me, can we split the bill?"
And I say, "Of course." Even though inside I'm thinking, "Not the split bill again."
And that's the moment I walk by carrying a heavy tray with drinks, and I whisper, "Check table 7, I think they're ready to order."
And I quickly answer them, "I'll be with you in just a moment," and mentally prepare for everything to happen at the same time.
And that's a typical day. Short, simple interactions, but full of vocabulary.
Totally. And it makes learning much easier when listeners hear the vocabulary in natural moments.
Now, something waiters often struggle with is handling complicated customers. Not rude ones, just indecisive ones. The ones you say, I'm not sure. Maybe the steak or the pasta, but the fish looks good too, and they take forever."
Oh yeah, you stand there smiling, holding your notebook, your arm gets tired, and you're thinking, "Please, someone make a decision."
Exactly. And waiters need diplomatic phrases like, "Take your time," "I can come back in a minute," or Would you like me to explain the dishes? Those help a lot.
Also, the classic no rush, which is ironic because the waiter is usually in the middle of the rush. But it sounds polite.
Something else that's interesting is the communication between the waiter and the kitchen staff. Lots of vocabulary there. Waiters often shout things like, hot behind or corner. These phrases are safety phrases.
Hot behind means a waiter is walking behind someone carrying hot food. Corner means someone is turning a corner with plates so others don't crash into them. These are super common in busy kitchens.
And hands means the kitchen needs someone to take dishes out to the dining room.
Exactly. And 86 is a classic American expression meaning we're out of something. If someone says 86 the shrimp, it means the restaurant has no more shrimp.
In Canada, we hear we're out of shrimp more often, but 86 is still understood in many places.
Now, let's talk about the physical side of being a waiter, because this job is intense. You walk constantly, carry heavy trays, balance plates, bend, lift, stand for hours.
And that makes words like tray, apron, non-slip shoes, uniform, pen, and order pad important. These are basic tools.
And some restaurants have the POS system, the digital device where waiters enter orders. It stands for point of sale.
Yes, and waiters say things like, let me put that into the system, meaning they are entering the order, or the system is slow today, which is a universal frustration.
Another huge part of being a waiter is handling payments. Vocabulary like card machine, tap, chip, swipe, receipt, total, service charge, tip option, all of that appears constantly.
Tap is a big one. Both Canadians and Americans use it, but it was definitely more common in Canada earlier. Now it's everywhere. It means paying by touching your card, phone, or watch on the machine.
And customers say things like, does it accept tap? Or, where do I insert the card? Or, can you print the receipt?
And sometimes the waiter has to say, it didn't go through, meaning the payment failed.
Or, let me try again. Or, do you have another card?
Something else we should explore is the rhythm of a shift. Waiters usually work morning shifts, afternoon shifts, or night shifts. And the night shift is often the busiest.
Oh yeah, especially Friday and Saturday nights. And waiters say things like, I'm on the closing shift tonight, which means they finish late and do the final cleaning.
Closing duties include wiping tables, restocking napkins, filling sauces, cleaning the counter, and sweeping the floor.
And opening duties include setting tables, preparing the dining room, checking the menus, making sure everything looks organized.
And something people don't know is how much memory waiters develop. They remember table numbers, allergy requests, drink preferences, and even small details about regular customers.
Oh, regulars. The customers who come every week. They often have favorite dishes, favorite seats, and they say things like, the usual, please.
And waiters love those customers because they make service smoother.
Now, before we keep expanding even further, I think we're building a great foundation for the final part of the episode.
Definitely. And there's still more vocabulary coming naturally, which is perfect for listeners. Now, something waiters often struggle with is handling complicated customers. Not rude ones, just indecisive ones. The ones who say, I'm not sure, maybe the steak or the pasta, but the fish looks good too, and they take forever.
Oh, yeah. You stand there, smiling, holding your notebook, your arm gets tired, and you're thinking, please, someone make a decision.
Exactly. And waiters need diplomatic phrases, like, take your time, I can come back in a minute, or would you like me to explain the dishes? Those help a lot.
Also the classic, no rush, which is ironic because the waiter is usually in the middle of the rush, but it sounds polite.
Something else that's interesting is the communication between the waiter and the kitchen staff. Lots of vocabulary there. Waiters often shout things like hot behind or corner. These phrases are safety phrases.
Hot behind means a waiter is walking behind someone carrying hot food. Corner means someone is turning a corner with plates so others don't crash into them. These are super common in busy kitchens.
And hands means the kitchen needs someone to take dishes out to the dining room.
Exactly. And AD6 is a classic American expression meaning we're out of something. If someone says 86 the shrimp, it means the restaurant has no more shrimp.
In Canada, we hear we're out of shrimp more often, but 86 is still understood in many places.
Now, let's talk about the physical side of being a waiter, because this job is intense. You walk constantly, carry heavy trays, balance plates, bend, lift, stand for hours.
And that makes words like tray, apron, non-slip shoes, uniform, pen, and order pad important. These are basic tools.
And some restaurants have the POS system, the digital device where waiters enter orders. It stands for point of sale.
Yes, and waiters say things like, let me put that into the system, meaning they are entering the order, or the system is slow today, which is a universal frustration.
Another huge part of being a waiter is handling payments. Vocabulary like card machine, tap, chip, swipe, receipt, total, service charge, tip option, all of that appears constantly.
Tap is a big one. Both Canadians and Americans use it, but it was definitely more common in Canada earlier. Now it's everywhere. It means paying by touching your card, phone, or watch on the machine.
And customers say things like, does it accept tap? Or where do I insert the card? Or can you print the receipt?
And sometimes the waiter has to say, it didn't go through, meaning the payment failed.
Or let me try again. Or do you have another card?
Something else we should explore is the rhythm of a shift. Waiters usually work morning shifts, afternoon shifts, or night shifts. And the night shift is often the busiest.
Oh yeah, especially Friday and Saturday nights. And waiters say things like, I'm on the closing shift tonight, which means they finish late and do the final cleaning.
Closing duties include wiping tables, restocking napkins, filling sauces, cleaning the counter, sweeping the floor.
And opening duties include setting tables, preparing the dining room, checking the menus, making sure everything looks organized.
And something people don't know is how much memory waiters develop. They remember table numbers, allergy requests, drink preferences, and even small details about regular customers.
Oh, regulars. The customers who come every week. They often have favorite dishes, favorite seats, and they say things like, the usual please.
And waiters love those customers because they make service smoother. Now, before we keep expanding even further, I think we're building a great foundation for the final part of the episode.
Definitely. And there's still more vocabulary coming naturally, which is perfect for listeners.
All right, James, we've covered tools, actions, tricky situations, customer interactions, and even that moment when you carried 4 trays like a superhero.
Hey, I survived. That makes me officially a professional. But now let's bring everything together so our listeners can hear all these expressions working naturally. It's like a last round, but not the end of the episode kind of round. Just a smooth way to connect all the vocabulary.
Exactly. And we stay right here with you, sharing what matters for anyone learning English to work as a server. So let's play out a real restaurant moment. Imagine it's Friday evening. Busy, but not chaotic yet. You're walking around the tables, holding a notepad, a tray, trying to keep the smile steady.
The famous server multitasking mode. So the first thing you do is greet your table. In the US, most servers say something like, "Hi folks, welcome in. May I start you with something to drink?" This means you're asking what the customer wants for the first round. Water, soda, juice, iced tea.
And in Canada, servers often say, "Hi there, how's your day going so far?" It's friendly, but still fast. Then they move to the essential question. Can I get you something to drink? So one important term here, to take drink orders, that means writing down or remembering what people want to drink.
Right. And then comes one of the most important verbs for servers, to recommend. For example, I recommend the chicken burger. It's really popular today. Hear the action. You're helping the customer choose.
Another big one is to describe dishes. Like, it comes with fries in a small salad, or it's spicy just a little bit. A good server knows how to describe food quickly and clearly.
And after taking orders, you often need to check on tables. This expression means going back to see if everything is okay. For example, how's everything tasting so far? Or can I get you anything else?
Canada restaurants use that line a lot too. It shows care and attention, and it's essential for customer service. And then, of course, the moment every server knows, the customer signals with the eyes or lifts a hand slightly, you know they're calling you.
Oh, the classic. You're across the restaurant with maybe 2 plates on your arm, and someone lifts a finger like they're summoning a taxi.
And you still go because customers might need extra napkins, more water, or help with the menu. So here comes another expression, to refill a drink. For example, would you like a refill? Or I can refill that for you.
And sometimes they ask for a substitution, an important word for servers. A substitution is when a customer wants something different instead of what comes with the dish. Like, can I substitute the fries for mashed potatoes?
Yes. And a server replies, sure, I can substitute that for you. Or there is a small extra charge. Servers need to say that part gently.
Soft but honest. Another moment, bringing the food. You place the plates on the table and say, here you go. Your order is coming right up. Or, let me just grab the last plate for you.
And then when everything is done, customers might ask for the bill or the check. In the US, check is more common. In Canada, bill is more common.
Very true. So a server might say, I'll bring the check right away. Or, here's your bill whenever you're ready. It sounds relaxed, friendly, no pressure.
And then the famous moment. Tips. We are not explaining cultural comparisons today, but the server vocabulary for this moment includes phrases like, thank you so much, or I really appreciate it, when a customer leaves a good tip.
Now, before we close our teaching part, let's do a little natural review right inside our conversation. Mia, imagine I'm the server, you're the customer. Ask me for something using the vocabulary we practiced.
Sure. Let's see. Hi, could I get a refill on my iced tea?
Of course, I'll refill it for you right away. Now your turn to be the server. I'll be the customer.
All right, let's go.
Hi, can I substitute my fries for soup?
Absolutely. I can substitute that for you. Would you like the chicken soup or the vegetable soup?
That was great. And notice, listeners, how natural it sounds. This is how servers really speak in North American restaurants.
Yes, and the more you practice these expressions, the more confident you'll feel speaking English on the job, or even just ordering food.
And now that we've covered the full journey of a server's day, from greeting customers to describing dishes, checking tables, dealing with busy moments, preparing bills, handling tips, and keeping everything friendly.
And before we let this moment pass, we just want to say how good it feels to spend this time with you, sharing real English, real vocabulary, and real stories.
Yeah, it's always a highlight of our day. And we're right here with you, week after week, learning and growing together.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for practicing with us, and thank you for being part of this journey.
And of course, if you enjoyed today's episode, follow the podcast, hit the like button, and tell us in the comments which profession you want us to talk about next.
We'll see you in the next one.
See you next time.